you nerds. I realized that I haven't played Stardew Valley since the last time I played Stardew Valley, so I aim to change that. In this playthrough, I will be playing in 10-day intervals while trying to remember as much of how to play as possible. The ultimate goal is to reach perfection, so make sure to like the video and subscribe to this silly little channel to watch me get to perfection. First started out by changing my character's name to Lavinia Lou, and then changing the farm name to Lavinia Lou's Farm because, you know, I'm possessing it. Then I had to think of what my favorite thing was, and I couldn't really think of anything. Then I finally landed on hunger, where I then needed to make my character, and so I spent roughly 5 minutes trying to figure out what I wanted it to look like, as well as choosing the animal and the farm type. So I just decided to go with the white cat because my cat in real life is white, and the standard farm, even though the river farm is my favorite, and if you hate it, then I hate you. Huh. Bless. And I decided to skip the intro because even though I haven't played Stardew Valley since the last time I played Stardew Valley, I don't really want to watch the intro again. I quickly double-checked my work like I did in my math tests in high school, and then got to work. So the first thing I did was stare at my screen for a minute. Then I got to work clearing out the farm a little bit so that we could plant our parsnips. At this point, I was trying to remember how the game functions and all the controls. So unfortunately, I kept messing up, but it was okay. Because you know what, we give ourselves grace. Aww. I then stared at the calendar for a minute, realizing I need to meet all the villagers. I then went off and introduced myself to Gus, Pierre, Abigail, and Caroline. I bought some potato seeds with our starter money, and then set out to meet more of the villagers such as Marnie, Alex, Evelyn, George, Pam, Penny, Haley, some trash, Sam, Vincent, Jody, my beautiful, majestic Leah, and Jazz. I then found out I still need to meet Harvey, Clint, Maru, Demetrius, Robin, Sebastian, and Linus. Realizing I had a few more to go, I decided to just head back to the farm because some of them I can't meet until actual events happen. So I took the really long route for some reason, and the reason was because I wasn't paying attention. I finally got to planting the carrot seeds I found, as well as the potato seeds that we bought, after which, clearing out a bunch of fiber to get our foraging skill up. I then did this until night came. Now here's a fun fact about Stardew Valley. The developer, ConcernedApe, was going to originally call the game Sprout Valley instead of Stardew Valley, but decided not to because it sounded like something that would be in the Harvest Moon game. Before all of my energy went away though, I decided to get some wood so that we could make a chest. After which, I headed to bed, which concluded our first day in Stardew Valley. When I woke up, I chose violence and started hitting things with my pickaxe. I then checked the mail, seeing that Pierre wanted to sell me a backpack and that Willie wanted to meet me at the beach. I then planted some mixed seeds and watered all my crops, realizing that my energy was super low, but that's okay because we're gonna go meet Willie. The sad part about my energy being low was that it wasn't even 9 yet. It was 8:50. 9. 8:50. 9. It was 9. We had our first cutscene where we talked to Willie and he gave us our bamboo pole fishing rod. Oh yeah. Willie's a chill dude. Guess I like him. And a herring. After catching some fish, I went to go meet Emily, but got stuck between Marnie and the door, not once, but twice, opening the door twice, and then having to stand behind her for the rest of it. We were finally able to meet Emily, and I realized that I hadn't met Shane yet, so I tried to go into Joja Mart to talk to him, but realized that I do this every playthrough, where I try and talk to him and meet him, but he's working, so he can't talk apparently. It's a dang grocery store. I then finished planting some of the mixed seeds and went to bed early, achieving level 1 foraging, which gave us a +1 axe proficiency as well as 2 new crafting recipes, and completing day 2. On the third day, it was raining, so I didn't need to water my crops. Yay! But since the mine wasn't unlocked yet, I just decided to go fishing for most of the day. So we're fishing and fishing. But the first 2 things I caught were literally trash, so I got mad and I stopped for a minute, clearing out a little bit of space in the area underneath our farm, and then going by the community center and grabbing all the fiber there. Very satisfying to break it. Now watch me fish up a carp, try to make room for it, and then forget to grab it, and so I just lost all that stuff randomly. I then spent some time fishing to collect as many fish as I could, allowing me to get some fish that we're gonna need for the community center, so I ran back home and put them in a chest for safekeeping. I fished a little bit more, and then I ran home and went to sleep. where we then achieved level 1 of the fishing skill, which gave us a +1 fishing rod proficiency, as well as level 2 fishing, which gave us a new crafting recipe. And that concluded day 3. Flint stopped by the next morning and gave us the furnace recipe. I then harvested our new carrots, finding out that they have a really good energy boost, where I then watered our crops and then went on a foraging spree, getting a bunch of spring onions, which is one of the best easy to get mining foods in the early game. I then went to see if I could get in the wizard's tower, full well knowing I still haven't unlocked the community center. I then cleared out some rocks on our farm where we got our first geode. Lastly, I quickly planted a few mixed seeds, which unlocked the +1 pickaxe proficiency as well as a new crafting recipe. And that concluded day 4. In the morning, I checked the fortune teller on the TV and then went and checked the mail, seeing that Jojamart had cleared that boulder, so now we can get to the mines. Parsnips were also ready, so I quickly grabbed those and then watered all of our crops. Now watch me cast my fishing pole instead of clicking on the journal button. I then did some odds and ends, looking at our quest list, doing a little bit of fishing, and grabbing some potato seeds. After which, I planted and watered the potatoes that we had just gotten, then headed up to the mines to get the event out of the way, where we got a sword to battle some slimes. I then decided to make an attempt in the caves to get to level 5, where I collected a bunch of stone and fought a crab thing, and then collected some copper that I think you guys need to listen to, so listen. That was lovely, wasn't it? Unfortunately, I had to leave the mines early because my energy was running low, but I still stayed productive by making a furnace and smelting some copper to make some copper bars. But I didn't want to end the day early again, so I decided to eat a carrot, which boosted my energy a lot, and then I chopped down a bunch of trees. So just listen to it, okay? It's pretty. Once I finished collecting all that wood, I realized it was getting a little late, so I decided to go to the saloon, where I finally met Elliot. Then I quickly found a soda can and gave it to Sam. I then went to bed, achieving level 1 of the farming skill, where I got 2 new recipes, as well as reaching level 2 of the foraging skill. Then day 5 was over. On day 6, I woke up and checked my mail, seeing that the Hat Mouse sent me a letter and that Robin wanted me to buy a well from her that I'm really not gonna do. I then went and gathered my parsnips and went into the mines. Now I want to talk about some of the characters in Stardew Valley and how I feel about them. I don't know everything about all the characters and haven't reached all the hearts on all the characters, so I don't know the character development very well, so I'm gonna stick with what I have. Haley, I'm not a fan of, because she's mean, but I know that she's supposed to be a very likable character once you get a lot of hearts with her. Alex was the first character that I wanted to get involved with the first time I played Stardew Valley, so I'm not gonna date Alex. There's nothing necessarily wrong with him, he was just kind of a jock, kind of mean character. Linus is amazing. If you don't like him, I don't like you. Homie's just living his life. I feel bad for Pam and Shane. I think their character development is interesting, and I haven't really delved into it. I just know that there's a lot of mental illness as well as alcoholism, and I want to delve deeper into their character development. Anyway, that's all current opinion, and I haven't gotten very far, so don't come at me. While I was mining though, I found a dwarf scroll. That's specifically the first one. We then reached level 10 of the mines and got leather boots. After equipping them, I then decided to head home because it was getting late. When we went to bed for the night, we leveled up, so we got level 2 mining with a +1 pickaxe proficiency as well as a new recipe, as well as level 1 combat and getting 2 new recipes. And that concluded day 6. In the morning, I checked the mail, seeing that Marlin wanted us to kill 10 slimes to be entered into the Adventurers Guild. We then gathered up our potatoes and headed to Gunther's so that we could donate our scroll. I then headed to Pierre's and sold our potatoes, and bought 2 bean starter seeds, 2 cauliflower seeds, and some potato seeds. We would need the cauliflower and the green beans for the community center, so buying them now and planting them now would make it so we could do that early. After planting my seeds and not having to water them, I decided to head into the mines for the rest of the day. During this time, I would like to say that I got my associate's degree in psychology about a month ago, and I'm really excited about it. Now you losers need to applaud for me, or else. I would like to quickly say how much I hate those worm thingies that are around the place and whatever, and they turn green when they're all hard and whatever. That sounds funny. Now watch me try to pick up a ruby by dropping stuff from my inventory and accidentally clicking on the ladder. Now let me tell you about how much I dislike this spiral cave. It makes me so mad, and so every time I go into them, I try and break all the rocks to try and get a ladder. Unfortunately, I wasn't getting a ladder, and so I was getting a bit of anxiety because it was getting late, and so I just decided to keep running and go through it. I hate spirals. We then finally got to level 20, where when I opened the chest, I found that we got a steel small sword. After which I broke the chest because I think it makes a funny noise, and I started to head back up. Trudging through the rain and the dark, I finally made my way home and made a few extra furnaces, where I started to smelt some copper, where I then went to bed, where we leveled up and achieved level 2 farming, giving us 3 new crafting recipes and 2 new proficiencies. And that concluded day 7. On the morning of day 8, we collected some of our parsnips and then smelted some more copper. And then we set out for another journey into the mines, where apparently I decided to take the obnoxiously long route. And apparently, I've never been on live television before. Y'all know that meme? Where's that guy at now? Where's that little guy at? We headed to the lowest we could, which was level 20, and began our excursion by getting some amethyst and killing some baddies. She a baddie? No, I'm not gonna finish that. After skipping a little bit of time, we found out that level 28 is actually an infested level. Normally, I would just go back up, but since we were close to level 30, I just decided to go through it. Now listen to the beautiful sounds of slime and bug genocide. We then finally made it to level 30, where we quickly got out of the mines and started walking home. It was getting late, but not too late, and raining pretty hard. We then went to bed and achieved level 3 of the mining skill, where we got a new crafting recipe, as well as level 2 of the combat skill, which gave us a new crafting recipe. And that concluded day 8. On the morning of day 9, I checked the luckiness for the day, as well as grabbed the mail, seeing that Robin sent a letter saying that we could upgrade our house if we sent her money, as well as a few materials. Today, we did some fishing. Now watch me try and catch this fish, which ends up being perfect, by the way, because I'm literally so good at this freaking game. I am amazing. I am perfection. Affirmations for today. Thank you. We also found a lost book, which was then automatically added to our library, which is now expanding. Yay! Afterward, I tried going to Clint's to process our geodes, but I wasn't able to because I didn't even have enough money. I'm such a goose. Maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I'm not amazing. Maybe those affirmations were just fake. They were all wrong. No, that's all fake. I am amazing. We then went down to the beach where I caught a halibut and a few sardines, as well as a chest full of wood. Wow. Really? But I grabbed the wood anyway for the halibut, for the hell of it. I accidentally missed clicking the chest and instead blocked the air. Good to know I can block. I then gathered some spring onions, as well as gathered some wood. Now listen. I then started clearing out some of the rocks underneath our house, which isn't actually underneath our house, it's actually located at the bottom of our farm. And then got distracted by getting wood. Rawr. I then planted a few trees next to our house so that we can get our syrup farm going, as well as started smelting some copper. We then went to bed, where apparently we didn't level up in any of our skills, but instead, I guess that we sold 210 gold worth of fish, and that concludes day 9. The next day, Marnie brought us a cat, and it's a white cat, which is just like my cat, in real life cat. Now here's a demonstration of how I meow at this cat. Meow, meow, kitty meow. Anyway, we get to name the cat, so I named it, obviously, Bungonia. Bungonia meow. You guys, I'm so funny. Bungonia meow. Meow. Meow, meow. Anyway, so I did water all my crops, and then I headed out to do a few things, such as doing a little bit of foraging, just seeing stuff on the way, and then donating some of the things that we got. I brought my geodes too, so that we could get some of the things from it, and by things, I mean artifacts. Now don't worry, I will be putting all of these in rainbow order, so it'll look all magical and all pretty, but for right now, they're gonna go wherever I want because I feel like it. Deal with it, okay? Okay? Okay. After going in between Clint's and the library for a while, I switched gears to planting. So I planted some seeds and then watered them, where I then decided to smelt some of the iron that we got from the geodes, as well as collect some wood. After I was done collecting a whole bunch of wood, I converted it into a chest with my fantastic workbench carpenter skills. Then I went inside, looked at the TV for a minute, I petted Bungonia, and then I wandered aimlessly. Watch. Really, Lily? Headed? You're joking. I then went to bed for the night, where a silly little fairy came to the farm and magically made whatever happened to our green bean. After the fairy left, that concluded our 10-day interval episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, nerds!